Hey Scrap Boss patrons, I'm back with another extended cut process video. This layout is called Breakfast with Friends. It's going to be an 8.5 by 11 layout featuring this 4x6 photo of my daughter and her little dollies and her stuffed animals eating breakfast one Saturday morning. And I've been really cognizant of scrapbooking these special little moments as she gets older. I know they're going to be few and far between, and I just like to document these stories and get them in her scrapbook pages. So in keeping with the rest of the videos that I've posted recently, I'm using a whole bunch of materials from my stash. I had some nice craft cardstock as well as some pattern paper that was left over, some cutoffs. I've got some sticker choices that I'm going to be using for my title, as well as some die cuts from various manufacturers. So I'm using a lot of things from Felicity Jane, Ellie Studio, Dear Lizzie. I went ahead and pre-selected some die cuts and such that I want to use. And I like prepping my layouts in advance. It just makes the whole process go by quickly. Here are some more die cuts as well as some puffy shapes that I might use, and potentially some stickers from Maggie Holmes. And I'm getting to the point of using my stash where I'm definitely ready for new stuff, but I am enjoying seeing what I have in my stash and seeing how I can utilize that on a scrapbook page. There's some stickers there. Also, to make sure that my story wasn't neglected, I went ahead and typed up my journaling, and I'm going to show you how I will position it on the layout. I'm going to use the bottom portion of this solid white cardstock to use as a mount for my photo. So I'm going to get that positioned down at the bottom and get that all trimmed up with my tonic trimmer, which, by the way, I use this trimmer a lot, and I've talked a lot about it in my videos, but it is the best trimmer ever. I absolutely love it, so make sure you guys check that out if you haven't purchased one already. All right, so 8.5 by 11 layout. What I want to do is I want to create a layer pattern paper that's going to go to the center, but justified to the top of the layout, just to give a focal point to the photo and some embellishments that are coming. Now, I felt that the square edges at the bottom, or the straight edges at the bottom, were a little bit too stark. So I'm going to use my corner rounder, and I'm going to round those corners, and I'm actually going to use my corner rounder a couple more times on this layout as well. That is a tool that I often forget to use, and I have it right next to me in my caddy of tools, and so I decided, you know what, I need to use that. So I'm using some Nina craft cardstock, and then of course I'm mounting the pattern papers there. I want to say one is from Felicity Jane and one may be a Maggie Holmes design. Before I get going, I want to go ahead and trim out my journaling, which essentially says, today's breakfast includes Diane, Tiana, and Simba, all enjoying bacon, eggs, and toast. Little dolls and stuffed animal friends continue to be invited to our family meals. I'm completely okay with this. No need to rush your sweet childhood away. Enjoy everything this wonderful and adventurous time has to offer. These sweet little moments fill my heart with so much joy. I want to hold on to this stage of your life for as long as possible. And I've been really hyper aware of making sure that I get these stories down. I feel it's all about putting the story first. All right, to my photo, I did back that with some fun foam. I also took my corner rounder and I rounded the corners of that journaling strip. And I forgot that I had this marketing strip from a Felicity Jane pattern paper that I just had laying around. And I want to use that in some way on the layout. So I auditioned at the bottom. Then I thought, you know what, I need something at the top to sort of anchor the elements on the page. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to that and get that there at the top, get that adhered to the top of the layout. And I think that adds also another element of color that coordinates with the blue as well as the craft. Okay, so now I have this tag. I'm going to go ahead and cut the lower third of the tag off. And I'm just going to use this as an anchor for some embellishments that are going to come down the pike. Now, as I'm looking at this, I need to figure out where my title is going to go, or make sure I have enough room for my title. I'm moving some die cuts around, trying to make some decisions here. This is what I love about extended cut process videos, because you can kind of see me try to figure things out. And while I do like to plan a lot of my layouts, which this one was planned, even the best plans change, and I initially thought I was going to put that little teacup die cut there. That's from We Are Memory Keepers. Also have this little, I don't know exactly what that is. It's some type of die cut that was with a Maggie Holmes kit. Trying to shop those around the page, but ultimately deciding I'm not quite sure where I want those, and that's all part of the process. My motto is just to stick it down on the page, and if you don't like it, you can always pull it up, right? Okay, so now I thought, let me address the title, and of course the title is Breakfast with Friends. I'm using two different sticker fonts. This one's called the Jane Stickers by Ellie Studio. It's one of my favorites that they offer. So I'm going to go ahead and spell out the word breakfast. and the word with. And in fact, I have to play a little bit of letter surgery here because I didn't have enough T's. So I worked that out by using an exclamation mark as well as a number, not a number, no, yes, the number 1 to create my T's. Wouldn't know the difference, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get that tag adhered again, just using that as an anchor. At this point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to add any fiber, and in fact, I thought I was going to add some twine to that tag, and then I totally forgot about it. So I have this ticket that I want to use so badly, and that came out of one of the die cut kits or packs that I had pulled out for this layout, and I decided I'm not going to use it. But I do have this tab here, and it has the word notes on it. And it looks like notes is adhered there with washi tape, but it's actually printed there. I didn't want to use the whole thing because that was going to take up too much room. So I'm going to go ahead and alter this a little bit by cutting out the word notes. And I'm going to adhere that to the journaling. I highly encourage you to think of different ways in which you can use your die cuts. Don't be afraid to take your scissors and cut things and alter things so that you can get what you want for your layout. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. So it looks like it's a little piece of washi tape that I just stuck on there on top of the journaling. There we go. Next up, I'm coming back to these teacups. Absolutely love them. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back as well as some foam. That photo I have popped up with some fun foam, so it adds a little bit of dimension. So I need to make sure that I add a tiny bit of dimension to those teacups by adding some little foam squares there to the right-hand side of that die cut. So I'm going to go ahead and get that adhered. Now I'm introducing pink because if you notice in the photo, one of my daughter's dollies, that's actually Princess Tiana, that has a little pink outfit on. So I thought that would be perfect to sort of bring the pink out in this layout. So now I'm trying to decide what do I want to add next. And again, I have this planned out, but then of course in the process of making stuff, I get new ideas. So I'm going to grab this sticker label, and that's going to house a little puffy sticker later on. I also have this heart sticker that has gold and yellow, as well as this little bird. I typically don't use little whimsical icons like that. I'm showing you the sticker sheet that I got that little bird from. I typically don't use these little whimsical icons unless it's a layout about my daughter, mainly because she has such a fun personality, but also depends on the theme of the layout. And I thought this was perfect with this picture of her little dolls all pretending to eat breakfast with her. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of pink to the left-hand side of the layout. I had this little star die cut, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the little birdie there. That was kind of a second thought, having that star die cut before I added the bird, or after I added the bird. Now that I added yellow to the bottom and the side left cluster, I need to add a little bit of yellow to the right, so I grabbed a little circle die cut. Then I also added another sticker there to the bottom that I mounted the little heart on. I'm going to add another little heart there to the teacups. Again, just looking to see what my sticker options are to accent. And then, of course, since I added hearts to the other two, I added hearts by the birdie. I'm going to pull out these Maggie Holmes puffy stickers. The size of these stickers often challenge me because they're so small, but I decided to use these as accents. So I'm going to add a little house there to the teacups and then a little star there to the circle on the right-hand side. I'm also going to add another star to the left-hand cluster where the little birdie is, and then another one at the bottom just to repeat that. And I added a little puppy label there at the bottom as well that says, "Love you always." And with that, this layout is done. Now, I've been talking about how I've struggled a little bit creatively recently, and this layout I had so much fun making this one, and I think it's just staying true to how I scrapbook. Clean, simple, a little bit of layered accents, but a focus on the story. And I think as I am sort of figuring my way through my creative slump, I'm going to keep going back to what is my tried and true, because I seem to be most happy with that. All right, if you're so inspired to make something, make sure you share it with us in our Patreon Facebook group, and I'll see you guys in the next video.